omwana n'atabuka omwana nayonona buli kimu omwana nayonona buli kimu. Kakati the problem is ti government bebastepinga balowoleza mu bribery n'okujoga bwavaano nga tumutwala wano bwavaano nga tumutwala wano bwavaano kati bajoze buli muntu. Kakati as a result kagurupu kano kempita mafia ganga kali mu fear and it has failed to get a solution.
Kali mukutya ate katya
anti kakati eno era oboyagala batoyagala President Museveni akyayongera 10 kakati ate katunulidde tife ba Museveni sitwalemera kuyenege tetubagalira ddala bano Besigye nga bwe bamukyawa mu bibiina naffe bwe twakyawa akagurupu kano kajozi nnyo buli wali sente kagibbawo nikajoga lekakuba mawuli kalina oyo bomba akuba mawuli yemu abalebe nga bavuga bala ensolo yaabwe
eruwata
anti bakuŋŋaanya biliyoni 2 ze bawadde Mmengo okudduka ne basigazaawo temwabalebe nga bavuga bala ensolo yaabwe
sente baziwadde eri
biliyoni 2
obukadde bina
muleke bawayiza abasajja kunono nabakkiriza biliyoni 2 kaakati nkugamba wano nti a retiring president must ensure that his successor will protect members of the first family and what they have acquired or rooted. This explains why the first family must have an input in somebody who is going to take power. Although in Zambia and Malawi, it's the former presidents who have who have borne the wrath of their successors. In many cases, the first family members become the punching bags of the new regime. Even where the president has committed human rights violations, anger is always meted out on members of the first family. People often vent their anger on members of the first family. A retiring president, therefore, must ensure that his successor will protect his security and protection from persecution. He should also be able to ensure his welfare. As people move closer to a global village, internationalism is also closing in. This means that we are having new generations of rights. What was not considered as human rights violations have become so. The internationalism through new agencies like the ICC is intended to keep leaders in developing countries on their toes. They use those who have retired to shape those taking power. Therefore, a retiring president in choosing a successor must bear this in mind. Finally, a retiring president must ensure that he retains some influence in the body politic of the country. The soft landing has always been retention of the leadership of the party in the case of a ruling party. However, this renders the retiring president to easily come into a coalition path with the new president. The situation becomes worse when his party is not the ruling one. It is what is happening in Kenya. Former President Daniel Arap Moi refused to retire and still participates actively in the country's politics. At the time, taking sides in very controversial government policies. This has helped him to remain relevant and defend himself against attacks from enemies. In conclusion, what protects the country from bad leaders are national institutions that can shape a leader's conduct and behavior. The country, through institutions, should make both the entrance and exit doors wide and keep them always open. The entrance and exit doors wide and keep them always open. Once a leader misbehaves, there should be institutions to enforce accountability. A wise Chiganda proverb says that omuyonjo omutono gwe guweta enkoko ekinsuti. Literally translated in English, we connected that a cock must fit in a small cage. It is not the cage that expands to create room for it. Likewise, it should be the leaders to fit in the national institutions, not the institutions to expand to accommodate their leaders' personal and selfish interests. Stronger institutions should therefore ensure the leader sticks to his role as a leader entrusted with the power. We should also borrow a leaf from the Islamic practice. Muslims always refer to their successful brothers and sisters in the business community as Katonda byayazika emaali. This means that God only temporarily renders them wealth. He is free to withdraw it any time. He is also a teaching that is applicable to leadership. Applied secularly, it implies that all power enjoyed by leaders are lent to them by the people. Anytime they come for it, it should be surrendered willingly, provided they do it through democratic means, not riots. I therefore submit that the Kakoza group should not waste our time on term limits. It does not take 5 years for a bad leader to show his badness. Secondly, extending the term limit from 5 to 7 years is equally dangerous. If voters cannot remove an incumbent, as Kakoza implies, this means that under the 7-year term, one person will remain in power. Therefore, it is clear to everybody that Kakoza and the group are pursuing a personal vendetta. Their reasoning is that this person who is likely to take over from President Museveni should not enjoy the same working conditions and unlimited present term as his predecessor. This is a very big political mistake. Political vendetta against individual enemies is very dangerous in politics.